As of the time I'm filming this, it is November of 2025, and I just did the math and realized that I have already secured 6 figures for 2026. What the hell does that even mean? I have never known financial stability like this. My first year of business was just like back against the wall, constantly fighting to make sure I stay afloat. My second year was a lot of grit and restructuring and finding the kind of offers and income streams that actually made me happy and fulfilled. But now going into year 3 of my business, it's crazy to think that I'm not going into it needing to cover my basic expenses. Is this how rich people feel? Is this what it means to not live paycheck to paycheck? 2 years ago, I was working a 9 to 5, making $50K a year and barely scraping by. So making sustainable income as a creator is very, very hard. So I want to take you through the income streams and the things that I've done to get to this point, and also what I'm going to be setting up in my 3rd year of business to help take this even further and make it more sustainable. So let's start by talking numbers. How have I already guaranteed 6 figures for 2026? Well, in my 1st year of business, my entire income came from my consulting services, but in my 2nd year, I really stepped into my creator bag and started getting more brand deal opportunities for me. I said no to a lot of brand deals in the beginning because I really just wanted to focus on building my trust with my audience. And I also wanted to set a certain tone for my brand where I don't just accept any brand deal that comes into play. I want the brands that I work with to be well known, and I want them to elevate me. And the way that brand deals work is that you oftentimes don't get paid for 30 or 60 days, sometimes even longer. And the way that I count my income is that I don't count it until it is physically in my bank account. I have about $20,000 that I will get in brand deals for December, but with brand deals that I've already signed and committed to and I'm in the process of working on, I won't get paid for those until like Q1 of 2026. And when I take the total of all of the brand deals that I will be paid for in Q1 of 2026, it amounts to $42,000. If I could offer a little bit of advice, one thing that I've learned is that it's a lot easier to have a few high-paying brands that you consistently work with. Like this entire year, there have been 4 core brands that I've worked with on a regular basis. Meta, Instagram, yes, they're like the same parent company, but they're 2 separate divisions. Adobe and Kajabi. I've learned that there are 2 industries you really want to get into if you want to make serious money from brand deals, and that's tech, which I'm doing a really good job at, and beauty, which I want to get in more because I love skincare. It just so happens that when I film my videos, I look a damn mess because when I have an idea, I can't let that idea linger for too long or I'll get bored. And so normally I look like who did it and why on camera. And then the second income stream is my Creative Corner membership. In my 2nd year of business, I really limited the amount of one-on-one work I did, and I started a group membership instead, and here's why. When I was doing one-on-one consulting, yes, it was a lot more money up front from a single person, and I only had to have a few clients in order to make a really good salary. But the problem is that every time one of those clients left, which is totally natural, it was a huge hit to my income and made things feel really unstable. My Creative Corner membership, it was $99. I just increased the price to $197 a month. And because of the brand I have, I'm able to get enough people into that membership in order to make it worth it and add up to a substantial part of my income. There's currently around 64 members in the Creative Corner, and I'm making around $6,000 on average per month. This membership grows without me really having to talk about it much, simply because the offer is too good. We meet 5 times per week. I built this because I saw this gap where there was a lot of people offering one-on-one coaching claiming to help you build your personal brand, but I saw 2 problems. 1, it was so expensive, and 2, it didn't provide enough accountability. So whereas for most one-on-one coaches who have the level of experience and expertise that I have are going to charge you $10,000 to work with them for a few months, for less than $200 a month, not only are you getting a consultant, you're getting a community, and you're basically getting a co-working membership on top of it. People have built whole creator careers inside the Creative Corner from scratch. People have built businesses, launched their first offers, and sold from their content. And then when a member leaves the Creative Corner, I'm losing $200 rather than $2,000 a month. So if we take the average of $6,000 in recurring monthly revenue from the Creative Corner plus the $42,000 that I am getting from brand deals that I've already secured and signed for, my total for 2026 is hovering at around $110,000. Something I've had to learn to get to this point is that hard work will only take you so far. Grit and resilience and hard work is what got me to the point where I have a business in the first place that makes any money. But the more I progress in this creative career, I'm seeing how important it is to have systems that are working for you so that you can chill. In my first year as a creator, I was just trying to think about how I was going to survive to the next day, the next month. But as I progressed in my career, I'm now focusing on making decisions that are going to serve me a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Something I've learned when it comes to being a creator is that you have to get really comfortable with delayed gratification, because most of the effort you put in now is not going to pay off until later. And that really starts with the foundation of this entire thing, which is posting content every day. I've been making content since I was 12 years old. I mean, I wasn't trying to build a business or be a creator full time or anything, but making good content, telling stories, and knowing how to build a personal brand that actually brings opportunities to you takes time. It's a skill like anything else. You have to spend the time learning it. So many people in this industry try to find shortcuts. They're like, how do I go viral the fastest? And that's just not been my approach. Even people I work with, they're like, how can I get here the fastest? And I have to tell them, like, the way that I work is I play the long game, because the long game is what's going to help you last a long time. For example, in my content, I don't rely on trends. I don't do quick, flashy, hot trending topics. Every video I've had that's gone viral has come from an original thought that I have had, my unique perspective, my words, my voice, my delivery, my message. And while that does take longer to build, it ensures that every single person who followed me is there for me, my story, my message, my words, my voice. So whether you're building like a business or whether you're trying to make it as a full-time creator, people like to see somebody who has an audience that actually engages, that doesn't just comment fire emojis. People want to see that you have the kind of community who is actively engaging. So even when I have a video that flops on Instagram, it will still get a lot of comments, and those comments will sometimes be whole dissertations. And another lesson I've learned is what it actually means to be authentic in the context of sharing things on the internet. Doesn't mean you have to share every single part of yourself. It just means being relentlessly transparent about the things that you choose to share. I also find myself asking the question, who am I being authentic to? I act different with my mom than I do with my best friend. I act differently with my best friend than I do a colleague. And all of them are true, honest, authentic parts of myself, but different relationships bring out different sides of us. The person I am being authentic to when it comes to content is Donavan at his highest self. Donavan that's living in a luxury condo on a high rise in the city, or like a cute cottage with a lot of plants. I haven't decided what my vibe is yet. I show up for Donavan who wants to create an impact on this world, who wants to help people, specifically marginalized people, use their voice to not only change their lives, but create the change they want to see in the world through sharing content. Donavan who makes $500,000 a year and can provide for his loved ones in whatever way that they need. When I show up to work, that's who I'm being authentic to. And by being authentic to that person, it allows me to step closer and closer to that person until I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, hey, you're kind of him. And the last kind of mindset thing I've learned through this whole process is that I and you are the greatest asset in whatever it is that we are building. If I don't take care of me, that festers into every single thing that I am doing, and it makes everything that I am building crumble. I know this firsthand when I went through a mental health episode in my first year. I didn't make money in my business for 3 months, depleted all of my savings, and my back was against the wall. One of the best ways you can take care of yourself, especially when you're pursuing a creative career, is take as much pressure off of the creativity as possible. For example, a lot of people sit here and tell you, leave your 9-to-5 and go all in on your creative dreams. I didn't listen to that. I did not leave my 9-to-5 job until having a 9-to-5 job was taking away from my ability to make more money in my business. I had already had several 5-figure months in my business before I quit the 9-to-5 job that was only paying me $50K a year. And then from there, I made sure that I had around $30,000 in savings before I quit that job so that if the sky fell, which it did, I would be able to survive for a few months. I'm an impulsive person, but when it comes to a creative career, you are your greatest asset, and you have to make sure that you are able to cultivate creative ideas, which is really hard to do when you're trying to figure out how you're going to survive next month. So whether it's driving for DoorDash or keeping your 9-to-5 for a little bit or setting yourself up with a lot of savings or whatever the case may be, make sure you are giving yourself an even playing field so that you can operate from your highest capacity and make the best decisions for future you. My current version of that is having my creative corner. I know that if the sky falls, like, rent is going to be paid thanks to that. This allows me to not be afraid to take risks, try new things, experiment with content. If my content flops for a period of time, which is totally normal, it doesn't send me into orbit like it used to, because I know it's just a time thing and I have the recurring income to survive that wave. Now listen, one thing about me, I'm ambitious as shit. This is great. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I can't believe I am entering into a year knowing that money isn't something that I have to struggle for. But I didn't come here just to get by. I'm breaking all the generational patterns and I am here to build something massive. So these are the things that I'm going to be focusing on in my third year to further sustain my income and increase it. Number one is this YouTube channel. I have built over 200,000 followers doing short form, and I love my short form girlies, but it gets exhausting. It's a hamster wheel. There's never a point where you feel like, all right, I've built this and I can let it take a bit of a hold and I can take a break. No, if you take a break, you immediately see it in your engagement, in your metrics on those platforms. I don't want that to be my reality forever. On YouTube, videos compound. A video I'm making today can still be earning income. It can still be bringing opportunities, getting sales, etc. 3 years from now. I think of every YouTube video as a little investment. Again, delayed gratification. I'm gonna post a lot of stuff right now that's gonna do okay. I'm actually really grateful for the small community that I have right now. And then one of these videos is gonna hit and take off, and then that's gonna spiral into other videos that are then gonna hit and take off. YouTube also invites what I call intentional viewership rather than passive viewership. I always say that 1,000 views on YouTube is like the equivalent of 10,000 views on Instagram. That might be a little dramatic. Every one of the 1,000 people who click on a YouTube video chose to click into your video and spend a significant amount of time with you that they don't get from short form content. It creates a much stronger relationship with the audience because you actually have the ability to fully encompass a conversation, a topic. And the last thing that I love about YouTube is that it is more monthly recurring revenue over time, and it's not coming from my audience itself. It's coming from these big brands who got money to spend on ads. Let them pay me. I like that. I'd rather take money out of their pockets. Even though the vast majority of my audience is on 2 other platforms, I mentally have made a shift that I am a YouTuber before I am anything else. Again, it's about making a decision that not Donavan tomorrow will appreciate, but Donavan a year from now will appreciate. Second thing is multiple revenue streams. And particularly, I want to start having revenue streams outside of just my personal brand, even if it's a small amount. I'm very close to being able to monetize on YouTube, so YouTube will be one of those revenue streams. I would love to get this to where it's making me $2,000 to $5,000 a month by the end of the year. It's been a dream of mine to be a writer for my entire life, literally since I was 5 years old. So I've also started posting on Substack. Right now, it's totally free because I'm just kind of finding my voice and seeing what people want from me. But early this year in Q1 of 2026, I am going to make a paid version of my Substack. I like that because $10 a month is a lot easier than paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars to work with me directly. And I personally love to read. I like to digest information in my own time. And it's another example of something where, like, if people quit, it's $10 that I'm losing, not hundreds or thousands of dollars that I'm losing at a time. So it helps me feel really secure. It's sustainable. It's something that will be generating me income for as long as I have it up or as long as it exists. I'm going to max out the Creative Corner. It's currently at like 65 members. The cap is going to be 75 members, so there's only 15 slots left. I'm not really stressed about that. I know what's going to happen because people just join it and I don't even like promote it really. They just see the value in it. It's just kind of an offer that's too good to refuse. Because I still have a lot of members who are at the first price point of $99 a month, when I cap it now, it'll probably make me around $8,000, $8,500 per month. But as old members churn, which is totally natural, and new members come in, when it is fully maxed out at this price, it'll make me $12,000 to $15,000 a month. Brand deals are what I like to call the big kahuna. I don't like to rely on them when it comes to like paying my bills, but when they come, it's like a big lump sum of money that can help me push toward bigger goals that I have, like eventually buying a house, investing in the stock market, which by the way is the 4th stream of income, investing. I have a Roth IRA, which is something that a lot of people who work for themselves use for retirement. And so I'm going to make sure that's maxed out. And then I'm going to focus on investing a lot of my money into the stock market this year. I lived large off of the $130,000 salary I paid myself this year. So I don't need to pay myself anymore, but my goal this year is to hit multi-6 figures. It's actually not optional. Like I will make at least $200,000 this year, preferably 3. And basically anything extra from the $130,000 I paid myself this past year, I'm just going to throw it into investments for both buying a house and the stock market. But for me, and this is the way I've always been, I will not earn multi-6 figures doing work that I hate. So things I won't be doing this year is any more one-on-one consulting, unless it's a client who is coming in and they know exactly what they want. They're ready to go. They need some tweaks. They're like low maintenance. I might take on 1 to 2 clients this year, but I may also not. It's really not even that I hate the one-on-one work. It's just that I have so many calls already with my Creative Corner membership. I really want to reduce the amount of time I'm spending on Zoom this year. My goal this year is to work no more than 20 to 25 hours a week. I also want to do better at actually leaving my house to work. It's like with my job, I can take my laptop and go pretty much anywhere, but I don't. 1, because I'm such a homebody, but 2, because I am in calls sporadically throughout the day. So if all I have is my Creative Corner call for the most part, that's in the morning, and then I'd have the entire rest of the day to go out and work. I definitely need to touch grass more this year. And then of course, YouTube, I really want to build because I like the idea of being able to put effort into 1 idea per week or 2 ideas per week instead of every day being on this hamster wheel. I have to have an idea. I have to make that idea exciting. I have to make it interesting. It has to grab people's attention, blah, 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 blah. I want YouTube to be my main audience, and then I want people who are following me on Instagram to be people who are predominantly from my YouTube channel. That way, like if I post a photo dump of me eating sushi, like it could do well because we just have that kind of relationship. I want to emphasize to every one of you that this is not an overnight thing. This can sound like a lot to somebody who's maybe just getting started or even someone who's been doing it for a while, but I want to remind you that the first thing that I focus on, the only thing that I focus on before I focus on any of the income and things like that, is posting my 1 piece of content per day. And not just posting any old piece of content per day, but actively working to improve each piece of content that I posted. I don't scroll passively most of the time. I scroll looking at why I stop on certain videos, why I scroll past certain videos, what captures my attention. If you're watching this writing notes saying like, oh, these are all the things I'm gonna do to lock in for 2026 too, I'm gonna stop you right there. Personally, for me, I found a benefit in focusing on 1 to 2 things at a time, allowing them to build to the point where they work and then moving on to the next thing. So for example, you don't need to be on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and LinkedIn and Threads. Pick one platform that you are going to build. And once you've built that, then go on to the next. Pick one offer in your business that you are going to max out and focus on that. Matter of fact, use the comment section to tell me the 1 to 2 things you are going to put all of your energy toward to build, your non-negotiable, the thing that you will not waver on. We need accountability. I want you to let me know. I also just want to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting my community. We are a small community, but we are strong. The comments y'all leave literally are so kind. Like y'all be writing whole dissertations in the comments, and I'm very, very honored and humbled and also like ego boosted from that. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Let me know what videos you'd like to see in the comments. I'm thinking about doing one about how I secure 5-figure brand deals. And if you're new here, it'd mean a lot to me if you subscribed and hit the bell icon to be notified about new uploads. Good luck, my friends, and as always, I'm rooting for you.